Oh no. It's back.
Berries are notoriously expensive, and toddlers are notoriously picky. She only eat fresh, never frozen, and every week there's a different challenge or different berry she wants to consume. Last week she loved strawberries, this week she can't stand them. So this week I set out to solve my own issues and appease the monster at home. And that is my toddler with the Berry Go Broke Baby Builder I built. What this tool does is it scrapes all local flyers to tell you what is the cheapest berry, but most importantly, what berries are on sale, and if you want to buy strawberries, where to get them from your local store. It looks within your location, finds the best prices, and gives you some recommendations. This is a massive penny saving, or at least dollar saving on my end, and something that I believe is scalable across many different products. So let me jump in to show you how I'm appeasing the little gremlin at home, but most importantly, making my wallet a little bit heavier for the dollars I'm saving. Let's jump in right now. Pretty simple. From the nice landing page, it gives you that nice call to action. It tells you how many dollars you can save by using this application, looking at how many berries you're buying a week, and just deducing some cost savings. This is just random, but it's just a fun way of making this a little bit more exciting and engaging. And again, this was all built on Lovable. Here's really where the power happens. So it scrapes all the local berries or all the local newsletters and tells you where the cheapest berries are. It gives you the berry of the week winner, which is the cheapest per pound. This week is blackberries from Food Basics. But you can see here, you can see what's happening at Food Basics, No Frills, Loblaws, Freshco, Walmart, Longos. The stores don't matter. You can switch them out for anything else. But it's really cool. You can see all the berries that were on their flyer. Right now, we're just scraping their weekly flyers. So this is just for items that are on sale or at least featured in their flyer. Here's really, I think, where a lot of the power comes, or at least how I've been using it over these past few weeks. It's telling you where the cheap berries are. My toddler has very specific needs or specific interests for what berry they want this week. So if I want to buy strawberries, I know, for example, I'm going to Loblaws to get them. But it's these berry alerts. For example, when I go to buy raspberries, I know if they're not below X amount of dollars, I'm not going to buy them. So I built into the system to get alerts. So if the newsletter or is the weekly flyer is scraped and it's cheaper, you'll get an email saying, hey, blackberries are on sale. They're below the price. Go buy them. So although this may look very intimidating, this is actually quite simple. And let me break it down for you. So every Thursday, we're scraping all the local flyers. Flyers come at different times, so I just have to choose a date when to scrape them. We're compiling all the URLs into one, sending it to Firecrawl, which is scraping through all of them. Then we're just parsing information, giving it to OpenAI. And as you can see here, learning to use the system prompts more and more every day, just kind of telling you telling the system or telling the AI how to break it down. System prompts are great for having consistency across all your prompting. So as this becomes repeatable, the output's more repeatable. And then the user prompt or the prompt that the system's kind of fresh every time is just telling you to take the JSON we just created, combining all the script information, output it with store type and a berry type, and we can just go from there. This worked very well for having some consistency across these runs. They were parsing the data and storing it in the database. One thing here is that we want to save money and we want to save time, and having to scrape this every time someone loads the website is incredibly slow and incredibly complex, so we need a database. Thankfully, or luckily, or smart product development on N8N's side is N8N has a local database which can store all this information. So that's what I'm doing here. Every Thursday, it's updating and appending a new row with all the prices and all the data. And then down here is where we get the subscriber information. So if the berry is below a certain price, you'll get an email. So that's relatively simple workflow. That's how it all works. You might be saying, but Brendan, what's happening in the bottom left? So over here, as I touched on or alluded to before, is using N8N as the backend. So when you load this site, nothing's being stored on Lovable side or on the front end. Lovable's pretty front end. It's all being stored here. So when you load the site, what's it doing? It's looking at our database and pulling the real prices. For historic data, it's pulling historic data here. And then for subscribers, this is kind of where we're getting the information of how we want to subscribe or reply with that information. So over here, N8N's doing everything from the database to the workflow, from storing and displaying information. So relatively simple build. And although there's a lot of nodes here, what I'll do is I'll share the JSON file after, so you can kind of click through and build it yourself. So what were the next steps and how can I improve this? I think the first thing is adding a postal code. This was built for me, but if you wanted to be able to look for example, berries in Alberta, being able to add the postal code and kind of scrape local newsletters or local flyers for that. And number two, and something I got advice on right away when showing this to people, is having other items. Maybe you want cheaper chicken, pouches, vegetables. The item doesn't matter, and this can easily be adapted to that. So I think that's the second part of the build. I think overall, this is probably one of the most eye-opening weeks of these builds for two reasons. One, got to use Firecrawler and see the power of it, but most importantly, realized you can really make a database for anything. I could scrape prices of watches, cars, competitors' new product lines. So I think that's the importance here is what do you want to track? How do you set up your own little database? How do you scrape that information? All these parts can be combined together to be useful for any type of industry or any type of product. So hopefully you guys enjoy this build, figured out how to save some money on berries, and stay tuned for next week where we might even do more fun and exciting builds along the way. Have no idea what's on the plate, but it's always an adventure. So stick along and join the ride.